Hey folks, and I'll go today, and I'm back doing movie reviews. Yes, I'm going to do these again. This is We Have a Ghost from 2023 on Netflix. Now, this movie is about a family who moves into a home, and it turns out to be haunted by a lonely spirit named Ernest. Now, this movie is a mix of, I feel like Casper meets E.T. in a sense, because there's a weird mix with CIA involved as well. But this is kind of I don't want to say horror comedy, but more like comedy action adjacent type deal. But, yeah, this is actually a pretty all good movie if you want to cry. There's good scenes in here. So here we meet Kevin. Kevin is technically the black sheep of the family here. He's, his family kind of, he's quiet, he keeps to himself, and he plays guitar, and he actually really plays guitar. He's really good. He discovers there's a ghost in the attic named Ernest. Now, his dad, played by Anthony Mackie here, love Anthony Mackie, his dad is trying to do a get-rich-quick scheme, and he uploads the photo, or video, of Ernest that Kevin took while in the attic, and uploads to YouTube in order for him to get fame and fortune and all that fun jazz, because it's a real ghost. Here's his brother, Fulton. This is Kevin's older brother, who is kind of obsessed with his phone. He's on Tinder, he's doing parties, all that fun jazz. He's just really obsessed with just social media, and obviously he wants to keep a good image. Now, their mother, I'm not going to lie, she wasn't really kind of like a good mom. I'm not going to lie, first half of the film. Honestly, both parents were kind of like shit to me, I'll be honest with you. A little bit. They do eventually move on and later on and get better throughout the film, so they do have a better character development. But they just seem very bland, kind of 2D type characters. But I love this scene where she discovers Ernest, because she walks through him, doesn't notice him for some reason, then turns around to see him when they're in the attic, when they're trying to discover stuff. But yeah, her reaction to Ernest was just, it made my day. It was just so great. Her scream was just phenomenal. But also we have another supporting character here named Joy, who is their neighbor, kind of a love interest as well. I guess she is a love interest to Kevin as well. And she decides to help him out and everything, and she does all this research, and she's a hell of a good hacker. She's funny. She's a smartass. She's really great. She's hilarious. I like her character. I'm not trying to describe it. But we're going to go to Ernest here. Ernest here is played by the most handsome man ever, David Harbour. I love David Harbour. Ernest here is obviously a ghost. He has a bowling shirt on that says Ernest. That's how he got his name. He's stuck in this house. Well, not really stuck in the house, but he's kind of in this house for a while. He hasn't left, and he honestly can't speak. So Kevin is trying to figure out how to get him to do his unfinished business and move on with, his afterlife, apparently. But again, his dad wanted fame and fortune. So that being said, his dad invites a medium over in order to get Ernest to come out and be on TV and get them up and famous and whatnot. But I love this scene here because his dad explains stuff. Ernest is back there mocking his dad while making Kevin laugh, and I absolutely love it. And the fact that Ernest can disappear anytime he wants. As soon as Anthony Mackie turns around, boom, Ernest is gone. It just cracks me up. But the medium that they have here is played by none other than Jennifer Coolidge here, which I think she's kind of a spoof on the Long Island medium, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't personally believe in mediums. I'll be honest with you. I do believe in supernatural stuff, but mediums to me are just kind of, I don't know, it's a whole nother story. But she's kind of like a non-believer herself up until Ernest actually comes out and actually scares the living hell out of everybody, cast and crew, and he goes full exorcist, or more like Conjuring, I guess. But it's a really cool scene, something I didn't expect. And at first I was a little worried, because I thought Ernest was turn out to be evil, but he really isn't. But this scene is just great. The scene right here, he makes his face melt in front of her, and it's just too good. And I called it. I knew she was going to run out and scream, but I had no idea how she would leave the house. And you just got to see the movie and how she leaves the house. It's so great. It's very Scooby-Doo-esque. It's very funny. But then we have Leslie here. She is a doctor of some sort. She actually used to work for the CIA, but then kind of came back to the CIA because obviously she believes in ghosts, and they want to capture the ghosts in order to see what it's all about, how ghosts exist, how this, that, and the other. And she's never fully, honestly, seen one in real life, apparently. So it's kind of a weird, again, kind of like an E.T. moment where they're just kind of go after this ghost and this family and just making this family's life a living hell with their shenanigans and everything. But then Ernest, Kevin, and Joy go on the run, which I appreciate because this is the first time Ernest has technically left the property since his passing. And again, we don't know why and how he passed until later on. But I do appreciate this scene. It's a fun car chase scene. It's really great. There's a scene where Ernest actually runs through a wall of businesses, and it cracks me up. You just got to watch that. Here they are. They snagged Kevin's older brother Fulton's car, which is a very nice car, I'm not going to lie. But I love that Ernest here is enjoying himself. He's out and about. Again, he can't speak, but he can shout and make some kind of noises. But I love that he's enjoying I wouldn't say the wind on his face because I don't think he can feel it, but I love it. But then right here, it's kind of a touching moment. They're just they're mapping out here. They left their phones. They don't get tracked. Smart kids. They're mapping out here where to go to visit the real Ernest, because it turns out Ernest here isn't named Ernest, and I'll get to that in a second. But I love this scene here. They're enjoying the sunrise, and it seems like this is the first time Ernest has seen an actual sunrise since his passing. Now, spoiler alert right here. I'm going to spoil this. So if you don't want nothing spoiled, please go watch the movie. Again, it's on Netflix. I know most people don't like Netflix or have it or whatever, but if you can, in a way to watch this, go ahead and watch it. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, this is a spoiler alert, so we'll get to it. Now, Ernest is not named Ernest. His real name is Randy. His best friend was named Ernest. Ernest here is married to Randy's wife's sister, and it turns out his sister... his wife's sister can't have kids, so Ernest here and his wife make a plot to kill Randy. So Randy's wife dies from complications from giving birth to their only daughter, and, well, Ernest kills Randy. Ernest puts Randy in his clothes, buries him in the backyard, and they basically just take his daughter and claim that he left and drank himself to death, and they claim it's suicide, which it wasn't. This was a very odd twist I did not expect, but it was very heartbreaking to see this at some point. But at the end here, you see his daughter June right here next to the family, that they reunite with him in order for her to get closure and see her father. And that to me was very touching, and the fact that here Anthony Mackie and his character, I believe his name is Frank, and Kevin, they actually kind of grow closer, because at first Frank's kind of to his son. I don't know how to describe it, but character development, they kind of get closer, and I appreciate the hell out of that, especially the whole father child things with June reuniting with her dad. But at the end here, Ernest, him and Kevin are sitting there. Kevin's talking, they're enjoying themselves. They're skipping rocks, and then Ernest goes to skip another rock, and then he can't, because then he realizes that he's finally moving on, because he fulfilled what he needed. They figured out what happened to him, all that jazz. He reunited his daughter. He got to complete his unfinished business and move on to the afterlife to be with his wife. Now, I know I keep calling him Ernest. I know his name is Randy, but it's based on a short story called Ernest, so I'm going to go ahead and read that eventually afterwards. But We Have a Ghost came out 2023. Again, it's on Netflix. I think it's a pretty damn good film. I'm not really sure how else to describe this. It's not really horror. There are some horror elements, but it's not really spooky. It's very family friendly, I should say, in a sense. I mean, some scenes might freak you out, especially the scene with the medium. But We Have a Ghost, 2023 on Netflix. Go ahead and give this a watch, and let me know what you guys think. And with that being said, you all take care and be excellent to each other, and also be respectful to the dead. You have no idea what happened, so yeah. But with that being said, you all take care and be excellent to each other.